Hi everyone, welcome to episode 5 of the Shape of My Heart Knitting podcast. I'm Flaminia. I'm an 18-year-old knitter from Rome, Italy, and I'm so glad to have you here. If you're a returning viewer, I'm glad you're coming back this time, and if you're a new viewer, I'm so excited to have you here because today's episode is full of new whips and very juicy stuff, and I'm so excited to share with y'all. And yeah, it's 10:35 in the morning, and this afternoon I have a statistic test, and I am here because I just wanted to talk to you about knitting because it makes me really happy, and I think it would make me less anxious. Okay, so let's start with what I'm wearing. Maybe some of you already spotted that it's the first finished object. It was the only basically active whip in the last episode, and it's now finished. It's Cardigan number 8 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. And let me tell you, if you were here last time, you know that I was very unsure about this. This is made in Jobs, Alaska, and I really didn't like how it was working out, but I just wanted to use the yarn for something and get it out of my stash. And I don't know, it was just rolling up and it was very uneven, but it blocked out beautifully. Okay, first let me show you, sorry about the noises. This is, this is me. And this is where the cardigan hits, just on top of my hips. And let me tell you, I really like it. It's very oversized and it's really comfy. I'm wearing it next to skin, and it's a bit scratchy, but it's not unbearably scratchy. It's bearable. That's what I'm trying to say. And also I was worried because it has a lot of decreases on the sleeves that they would be just too tight and uncomfortable. When you have a really oversized and boxy body, but the sleeves are kind of slim, but they're not uncomfortable. They're quite comfy that, they don't slide off of your hands, but they actually stay in at the wrist. And yeah, I just left it soak more than overnight, from the afternoon to the night and then to the day after. And let me tell you, I have a broken foot now, and blocking sweaters and cardigans with just one foot is it's a journey. It's a struggle, but we made it. And I don't know, I quite like it. It's pretty even. It's not the most even, but it is even. And also the bottom band came out quite nicely. And again, if you were here from the past, you know my struggle with this type of bottom band, that I love it, but at the same time I love the cast on edge because I do Italian cast on, and it's really seamless and beautiful. But then you Kitchener stitch at the other end, and I somehow mess this up every time. This time I think it is pretty correct, but I don't know. You see that it's not very straight. It has a dip in the middle, and I think it has to do with how I tensioned the yarn when I did the Kitchener stitch. But we are learning. It is pretty nice. I'm fine with it. So I was still unsure about this after blocking, but then when I chose the buttons, it made me super duper excited. These are buttons that my mom had in stash because we have apparently a huge stash of buttons. And look how pretty they are. They're mother of pearl, yeah. And they have this kind of ruined brown part, but I don't know. They're just so beautiful and unique, and I like that they're not just the same, but they're not mismatched, you know. They're the same, but they're not the same. It gives it a little twist. And as this is not pure white, this is, you know, this is pure white. This is kind of a cream yellowish white. And so I don't know, I was struggling a little bit because I usually don't like very like yellowy tones and very warm tones, because I feel like they do not, you know, fit very good with my complexion. But I don't know, these buttons really made the cardigan. And I sewed them on like a little bit raised because I saw this on somebody else's YouTube channel that of course I don't remember, but that's genius, because if you sew them like this, they are raised. When you have this type of bottom band that is really thick, it gives you more room for the bottom band to sit when you button up the buttons, like the cardigan. And it sits, you know, it is not, I don't think I have to explain. You can tell what I mean. And it has, no, I think the v-neck is okay. When I first made it, I thought it was a little not deep enough for my liking, but I think that as it is more cropped than the others, I think it's, you know, it's proportionate to its length and stuff. And it is really warm. Whew. Yes, I'm kind of getting hot in this. But yeah, so yeah, I think the pattern was very, very clear, and it was super fast in it because it is on like 5.5 millimeter needles. It is super, super fast to do. And I think I will make another one in the future. Like, I'm thinking in a yarn that I like more, like this black, like just this black is like, it's a yes for me. And also this pickup on the edge for the bottom band is really clean, because you don't increase right on the edge, and that's something I like. That's the way I prefer to increase in my sweaters and in my cardigans, because then I don't like picking up stitches when, you know, you increase and it's kind of very, like, it's messier, it's not very clear where you have to pick up stitches. But this is really nice. I really like it. Yes. Yeah, that's a modification I did. I omitted the pockets in the cardigan. Oh, and also look at the back detail for the shoulder. It is super pretty. I don't know how to show you. It is super pretty. Yeah. Wow. So yeah, I was unsure about this, but it turns out that I think I will wear it a lot. Very nice. I really like it. And also the sleeve length is okay, because you can like scrunch it up and you can pull it down. I mean, it's an okay length to me. So I would really recommend this pattern. Yeah. But I think I will wear this more as an like outer layer, like wearing this without a jacket on top, because it's really, really woolly. So I don't think I will need a puffer jacket or something like that on top. And we have another finished object that is the second version of my twisted bigger headband that I'm test knitting for Knitsanfika. And this is the second version. I made another one because I think I lost the tag. This was my first one. I lost the tag of this cotton yarn, and you know, she asked the yarn brand we were using and I wasn't sure, so it really took no time to do, like 2 hours or something. And this uses 11 grams of yarn, like so little yarn. So it's a perfect use for those little scraps we all have in our stash, and it looks really nice. So I think it could make up for a great gift. So that is it. I made this with drops, extra fine merino. Yeah, it's really nice. So I have like wool, merino wool one, and a cotton one. Happy about that. Okay, so then, okay, let's move on to the whips. That is like the juicy part, because after, you know, we finished this, we just had the blanket, because I'm making a blanket as a whip, and I was like, okay, let's start something new. And I started swatching, because apparently I think I quite like swatching. But if I may be honest, I think that the primary reason why is that I would want to like buy those boards where, you know, the cool knitters just pin their swatches on, and like you can see them in the background, and I think I would really like that. So I'm swatching for every project now, because I want to have a ton of swatches, and just because, you know, I want to remember every project I make just by looking at that board. So I swatched 2 times for this project, which is even more astonishing, but the texture is just really nice, and it's so fun to knit. It's super fun to knit, and so I didn't mind. So which one did I make first? Okay, I made this one first. That, if you cannot tell, it's a swatch for Sweater 19 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, and as the yarn that I'm using is like slightly thicker than the recommended, and I'm a tight knitter, I thought, okay, let's go up a needle, like half a needle size, and see what happens. And yeah, this is the yarn that I'm using. It's Merino 100 by Ispe made in Italy yarn, something like that, and it's 50 grams for 100 meters. So it's, yes, I think her yarn is like 50 grams for 120 meters, something similar. So yes, but I'm actually not on gauge. This is too big, even though it looks beautiful, but this is not on gauge. I made this with 4.5 millimeter needles. So I was very surprised because I am never on gauge, and I swatch with the right needle size, which is 4 millimeter needles, and I am on gauge. Yay! So we started it, and we are loving it, and I am participating in the Dream Knit Cal that Knitting Transitions is hosting, you know, which it's pretty self-explanatory, where you cast on something you've been wanting to do for a lot of time, but you never got around to. And this is my entry for that cal. Oh, like, this is so heavy already, and wow, like, it's the squishiest, but you know, it looks a little small and a little weird, but it stretches a lot. Like, if you saw the swatches, it will kind of lay like this. Oh, how stretchy it is, because it's basically 2x2 ribbing, so it will stretch a lot when blocking. And So this is the first time I'm making something with this construction, and it has been kinda, it hurts my hand a little bit because you increase on every round, but maybe it's because I was knitting furiously on this, so maybe it's my fault. But you know, I really wanted to see these increases form because they're beautiful. And also for, wow, for the sleeve cap, like, I don't know if it's the same of a saddle shoulder, but it looks like the shape, it looks like a saddle shoulder. Saddle shoulder, but I don't know, don't quote me on that. But yeah, it's super clever, the construction. For the first time, I made 2x2 tubular cast on. Looks really nice. And so yeah, we are knitting on this and we are loving this. And you know, I usually suffer from body island. Some people suffer sleeve island. I suffer body island a lot, and I wasn't getting bored of the body. I made quite a lot of the body, but I wasn't getting bored. It's just that, I don't know, I just, you know, because I had a needle to put things on hold, so I put the body on hold, you can see, with my only like interchangeable long cord. I put the body on hold, and I'm knitting the sleeve, which will also grow a lot while blocking. And yeah, I find this, oh my god, okay, I find like this construction so interesting. Oh my god, because you shape the sleeve cup in a very seamless way. Like, I thought there were short rows, or that it was just, you know, pick up and knit straight, but it is actually not, and it looks very polished because you don't have to pick up stitches, like under the arms of course, but we're very happy with it. It's very heavy and squishy, and it will be very oversized, if you cannot tell, like 25, like 35 maybe, I don't remember, centimeters of positive ease. And I don't know, I cannot wait to finish this and to block it, because for all the reasons that I already said, really. But yeah, these increases on the shoulders, they really get me. They do get me. And for this project, like right before splitting for body and sleeves, there were so many stitches on these needles. They were like so tough to knit because they were so scrunched up, and I've never seen anything like that. If I can be honest, even here they're pretty scrunched up. But imagine before, like, I think that every sleeve is 70 stitches, so you had kind of maybe 500 stitches on the needles. No. And also, what to do this pattern, you know, you can see there is a hole in the middle of this like faux cable, and so that means you yarn over, so it means that on the next row you knit that yarn over, so you have like a ton more stitches on the needles already. Like you had a ton before you yarned over every repeat, and now you did, and now you have a ton of stitches. But that's beautiful. I'm knitting size small, and I started this on the 23rd of February, so you know, it's pretty a lot of progress, but we just have a lot of time to knit now, so we might better use this opportunity. This second whip is also something that I have been wanting to do for so long, like you have no idea. And it is, let me show you the beauty. Oh my god, everything fell down. It is Camisole 5 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. I know a lot of My Favorite Things Knitwear in these past videos, but you know, she's a designer. I don't know, I feel that firstly I wanted to do like basic, like petite knit pieces because I wanted to have more staples in my wardrobe. And then I did my first colorwork project and my first cable project. So, you know, I never got around to making her patterns, but I think that aesthetically she is my favorite designer. And I know like there is a lot of issues and debates about her size inclusivity, but I agree, like these are not fully size inclusive. I think, I haven't checked. Yeah, I think they go up to a 2XL, 3XL maybe, but you know, there are I think she is putting some effort in increasing her size range. Like she made a Instagram post where she said she was working on grading some of her older patterns to, you know, XS to 5XL kind of standard size range, and I was really happy about that. I don't know if she will be doing this for every pattern, but you know, like there were sweater 11, you know, the drop shoulder with the turtleneck. I think that had like 3 sizes. That was ridiculous. I think this is not completely size inclusive. What? Size inclusive, but you know, it's in an more acceptable range. I really hope she will work on a lot of her designs because I think they're beautiful. Like they're really beautiful. So I am using this yarn. I'll show you the tag. Egitto 5, and it's 100% cotton, like mercerized cotton, and it is 50 grams for 210 meters. It comes in like not in the usual balls. They come in these things where you have the cardboard in the middle and then they are all wrapped around it. But I think that, like, looking at how it is, I don't know, wrapped around, I think this is the same as the cakes that you get when you wind your yarn with a yarn winder. But I don't have that, so I cannot tell you. But I think it is, and it's so cool. This is a full ball, and this is a, you know, used ball, and it's like, it's amazing the difference. Wow, these things contain a lot of yarn. Like this, I'm on the first cane still. This is still the first one, and oh my god, this was so fun to do. And I don't know, this is my first project on 3mm needles, but just because I don't know why I was so scared about 3mm needles. I don't know, I felt like between, like, I did a colorwork sweater on 3.5mm needles, but somehow I felt like the gap between 3 and 3.5mm needles was like huge. Like I felt like that is small, but that's okay. This is like super tiny, but it's not. It's like just a little smaller than 3.5. I know that was ridiculous, but yeah, I joined in the round. I made this much of the body, but just because, so I bought these needles in Norway because they sell like yarns in supermarkets. So wow, I went around all the supermarkets to find yarn, and we did find it, and we found these needles. I really like them because they're pretty pointy and they are metal. Like, they're really nice, the needles themselves, but the cables, I hate them so much. Like, look how much they twist. Like, it is on the project, so, but look at that. Like, I think I will have to like let them soak in hot water and just like, they're horrible to be honest, but they're the only one I have, so you know, you gotta work with what you have. But I really like the needles themselves, and the thing that really puts me off on right now working on this is the like this part, the joint between the cables and the needle. Like, it doesn't look very, like, the difference between the two, it doesn't look much, but somehow these stitches stick. Basically, I have to keep thinking that I have to knit more loosely, because if I don't, like, the stitches won't pass by. Like, look, they don't go. Like, I have to do it one by one basically, and it's really annoying. And I think I will invest in a pair of interchangeable needles, and I asked on my Instagram suggestions, and quite a lot suggested a pair of I don't know, but I found like on a discounted price the Knit Pro Nova that Annie knits, that I follow like uses every time. Like, there are her favorites, but let me check. Like, delightful something, wait. Mindful, okay, Knit Pro Mindful kit, that it is discounted like 60 euros, like 59.99 or 58.99, you know, 60 basically. And I think it's a really good price, I hope. And I think I might be buying those. Like, I know, like, my friend Francesca, she suggested, of course, Chagu needles, and also like Orsanets, I think, yeah. She suggested the high sharps that I was, you know, already looking at from, you know, from afar, but I think I don't know, it will have to be next time. I don't have that much money to spend on an interchangeable pair of needles. And the Knit Pro ones look like a good quality, so I think yeah, I think I decided on those. But yeah. And also sorry, I'm a little bit of a nerd, and I don't know if you know, like, the video game like Monster Hunter World. This is so funny, but like, my boyfriend answered to the thingy, to the question box on Instagram, Toby Kadachi with his, which is a monster in Monster Hunter World. Yeah, he's my man. But yeah, what else? Yeah, I'm knitting size small because I usually am a size small. Yeah, and by the way, I always forgot to say this, but my measurements are, if you want to know, because I know that probably some people don't want to know, but if you do want to know, they are just on the very bottom of the description box. Yeah. Oh my god, I don't know why I'm unsure that it's called that way. The description box, right? Underneath the timestamps with, you know, they're at the very bottom. Ooh, and also third width. I got into another test knit, which is super exciting. And it's a test knit by Knittingsofi. That is one of the like Instagram accounts that one of the first Instagram accounts that I started following when, you know, I created my Instagram account, my knitting Instagram account. And yeah, because I really like their photos, and she was really really young, so I'm like, yeah, I was loosely taking inspiration by her. And she put up a tester call for a tank top that she was working on, and I applied. I didn't apply. I applied and I got in, and it is the Add the Top. And so this is currently on hold because I found some issues with the pattern, and you know, I'm waiting for the updated version. And she's really nice and really I don't know, available. And I don't know if it's something that it's okay for a test knitter, but as I was applying for so many test knits, I didn't like remember which size I applied to test, but I think it is pretty normal. Like for me, for me it is, because I can barely remember the size that I'm knitting for my whips that that I have already started, you know. So yeah, I had to ask her like, hey, I'm sorry to bother you, but I forgot which size I was supposed to test. I think I applied for size medium. Yeah, and I'm knitting size medium, because this, like, it was very confusing. I was pretty sure that I applied for size small because, you know, that's my usual size, but this pattern actually, you know, like pattern usually go by your bust measurements for sizing. This goes by the waist measurements, so I don't fit, yeah, so, and it's supposed to have negative ease, and yeah, I'm just test knitting size medium. I swatched for it again for the swatch board, but also for a gauge, and I am on gauge. Like, guys, what is happening? I you know, I'm starting being on gauge. I'm start to being on gauge, and this is a really really nice color. Yeah, and this is my this is my progress so far. It is knitted bottom up. This is my progress, and it has like no ribbing. It is just stockinette with, I don't know if you can tell, yeah, maybe, like this is knitted on 3mm needles and like the rest on 3.5. Yeah, I think you can tell a little bit. And yes, so this is the waist, and I think it would fit pretty well. It will fit pretty well. And it's an open back. That is something that I really really like, because summer in Italy is really really hot, and I can barely bear my own skin, so that's good that it has an open back for ventilation. And that's the yarn that I'm using. It's Mondial Basic Luxe in the color in the color 155, and it is like this bright violet color, and I really like it. And this is a DK weight yarn. It's 50 grams for 120, and it's really good because I had this in my stash. So we are using yarn from stash. We are doing really really good. And what else to say? Yeah, and I think that because of the open back, it uses very little yarn, because, you know, one piece of the top is missing. Yeah, I think it uses like 150 grams, which is not a lot. It's like 3 balls of this. Like, that's of course what's like the suggested thing, because I'm testing knitting, so you know, at the end I will have to tell her like if I used more or less, or you know, the exact amount that I use. But I know a yarn store here that stocks this yarn, so if in case I will need more, I can get more. So that was a perfect choice for that, and that's exciting. And it's a really like good cotton. I think it's not that expensive, and it's really like, it's not that dry. Like, you know, cotton can feel really dry sometimes, and that's not dry. So we have 3 new whips, and then I have, as I mentioned earlier, the blanket. And this thing is, it's getting really big, and so I usually have just 1 pair of each needle size. Like I have 1 3mm, 1 3.5, 1 like, and just for 4mm I have 2 pairs, but they're, you know, 8 centimeters, 60 centimeters cord, and they're fixed. They're not interchangeable. And you know, with the interchangeables you can attach different cords to make longer cords. And that's like the thing that actually pushed me to decide that I want an interchangeable needle set, because this is getting super big. Look how pretty! Oh my god, it just makes me really, really happy each time that I look at it. And I am starting to being a fan of this side too, you know. This is the right side of the garter stitch in question. Like, garter stitch is symmetrical on both sides, but you do 2 rows, so you know, this is kind of the right side, and this is the wrong side, and I'm kind of a fan. Wow. And yeah, it is, I measured it like on the sides. Where are you? Okay, it measures 81 centimeters, maybe a little bit more because I need it on this a little bit more. But yeah, so this side, I measured this side, this is 81 centimeters, and I cannot wait to just stretch it to a larger needles, because look how scrunched up it is. Like, it is supposed to be a triangle, and I want to see the real size of this so much. But I have to wait for those needles that I didn't even buy, but I think I will. I decided today's the day. Yes. Oh, look how nice it looks. Yes. And also my best friend is a great fan of this, so that's a plus. But I don't know, I'm kind of running out of big scraps, and I don't want to like a section to have like the same colors over and over again, because then like in the long run, like in the big thing, you can tell that in the middle there are just like the same like 3 or 4 colors just repeating over and over again, because I have a lot of navy to put in and a lot of black. You see, like this part, a lot of navy, a lot of black, but I don't want to, you know, to have large sections of just navy and black, because they don't have enough contrast, you know. But yeah, I'm getting really hot in this cardigan. Let me tell you, I am getting really hot in this cardigan. Okay, so on to our podcast recommendation. Today, I want to recommend you, lovely people, Anna, which is like so beautiful, like such a beautiful one. But it is like her channel is Anna Passei Trevino. Trevino sounds like a very Italian surname, but I think I'm making this up. I just made a list of things I wanted to say because yeah. So okay, firstly, she uses very different fibers and than I do, so that's very fascinating to me because I can kind of live through her and experience through her, you know, those kind of fibers that I don't think I'm drawn to using, but they're very fascinating, you know, like very woolly and warm woolly yarns. Okay, woolly. And she also does like very different projects, I think. Like, not that they're very different in style. I don't know, like she knits up things by designers that maybe I've never heard of, and that's again very fascinating. But I think the thing that, I don't know, makes her channel and her podcast really unique is that she gets a lot of her yarn secondhand, and I don't know, it's just very interesting to me. And she also, you know, unravels sweaters from the thrift store and makes something with that. And that is something that I want to do more myself, that I'm doing, you know. I'm trying to use up all of my stash, and we are doing really well because, again, no acquisition in today's video. But yeah, I really like what she does. And she also likes color work a lot. She's very good at it, if I can say so. And I've been craving color work lately, but you know, I'm waiting because you know, I have some wool knit yarn that is really good for color work, but I am waiting for like the right moment. But I think I know which project I'm gonna make. I think it would be the wood folk sweater by the Petite Knitter. That it's my favorite like designer for color work. I think her pieces are just so beautiful, and just her aesthetics in general is just on point. Like, I really like following her on social media. And but yeah, Anna does a lot of color work, and I'm into that. And also she uses a lot of unspun yarn that I don't know if I will ever use, maybe, but I am not sure about that. But I'm really fascinated by it. So yeah, go check out Anna because she is amazing. And I think I am rambling a lot at this point. Maybe it's the statistics that, you know, start getting into my head. So yeah, I think we can round up the video here. Like, I don't have a lot of live chat updates. The foot is still broken, but actually, you know, as you can see, maybe I put some makeup on today because I am leaving the house. Yeah, that's good. I'm leaving the house because I'm going to the doctor, so I thought that filming this episode now was a really good idea because, you know, I'm looking a little better than normal. But yeah, I am hoping to heal soon. And also let me know how you guys are doing, because last episode I was talking about how I injured myself, and you know, the pathos was really strong, and it was really into me. And then actually when I posted the video, I felt kind of guilty because I felt selfish because I didn't ask you guys how you were doing. So if you would want to share that with me, I would be grateful, because I really love like reading your comments. Like, when I see that someone comments on my video, I spread joy from every pore. And also let me know what you are working on at the moment, like even watching while watching the podcast, or just your whips, what you've been working on in this period, because I want some inspiration and some spice. And so yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more from me, maybe consider subscribing. And yes, thank you so much for being here, and see you next time. Bye. Hopefully I won't wake up this time.